Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska and welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a more abundant life and business. You're in for high-value content coming to you from industry leaders who are growing their business, making an impact, and rocking their brands. And I'm thrilled to have my special guest here tonight with me, Rachael Rubin. Rachael Rubin is a rising star in the beauty and photography world, and she is the founder and the owner of Beauty Parlor RLR and Studio RLR, where she combines unique services of hairstyling, makeup artists, and high-end photography to give her clients world-class results. Her work has been featured in the Boston Globe, in Boston Common Magazine, and mentioned by Tyra Banks of America's Next Top Model. Rachael has worked with everyone from newborn babies to celebrities. She makes everyone camera ready. Thank you so much for being here, Rachael.
Thank you for having me.
So you are just a gorgeous bombshell entrepreneur rocking it out. You are so young and so beautiful. How did you come up with this concept for the studio and the salon?
Well, thank you for the compliment and thank you for having me. So I actually started this company accidentally. I was 18 years old and I was at Hofstra University, and basically what happened was one night I was stuck in a blizzard with my best friends in our dorm room. And my friend Charlie had left his camera in the dorm room, and at the time I was working as a makeup artist, and I said to my friends, I'm going to do your makeup, I'm going to do your hair, and I'm going to do a photo shoot of you in the blizzard in these leotards. And for some reason they agreed to do the photo shoot with me. I put those photos up on Facebook. They came out amazing, and that was when Facebook was really becoming very popular. And from there, people kept asking me to do the same thing for them, and I continued, and I called my dad and I said, I think I need a camera and I think I need some equipment, and he was, you know, my family was very supportive, and I started a company.
Yeah, so a lot of people like dabbling in photography, and you asked your dad for a camera and some equipment, but now you have this wonderful burgeoning business that's really world class. So how did you go from Dad, I need a camera to taking pictures of celebrities and having, you know, top makeup artists work for you?
So it's really transitioned over the last 7 years. So I started that night in the blizzard, and people kept asking me to do those
The night in the blizzard.
The night in the blizzard. And people kept asking me to do shoots for them from that night, and I basically just kept growing the company as time went on. I would do a photo shoot, I would get some more equipment. I would do another photo shoot, I would get even better equipment. I kept growing and kept getting better at what I was doing, and over time, the company grew to become more than just a hobby. It became my career, and I had fully accepted that, and that was very exciting to me. And when I moved back, I started the company when I was in New York City and brought it back to Boston because I felt it was an open market. And when I moved back here, I got a small little studio. I was working out of my garage. I was really working anywhere that I could. And I started, you know, in Framingham was my first studio. It was about 300 square feet. It was really small, and I did everything I could out of there. I was working with celebrities out of that small space, and I knew that something, you know, what big was happening. And then from there, a bigger space became available, and then I opened the company that I have now, which is Beauty Parlor and RLR Studio, which is, you know, a full-service salon combined with a full-service photography studio. So that night in the blizzard, a business was born.
So it's not just, because I've been there, and it's not just a salon and a photography studio. It's really much more than that. So tell us a little bit about the whole concept of the studio and the salon together, because it's something really unique, and the results that you get are amazing. It's very artistic. It's very sensitive to, well, to everybody, but to women, to really make them feel and look amazing and sensual and powerful all at the same time. So tell us a little bit more about the concept and how you marry those things.
Yep, absolutely. So we're a unique concept. It doesn't really exist here. I don't know if it exists anywhere, honestly. I believe that no one should be getting in front of the camera without perfect makeup and hair, which is, you know, my belief system. So our salon, Beauty Parlor, we have very talented women who are doing, artists really, who are doing trending salon services such as balayage, hair painting, or trending haircuts, eyelash extensions, organic spray tans, top of the line quality by artists who understand exactly what you need. I'm personally a makeup artist and a photographer, and when it comes to the photography, we have people who are prepping you to get in front of the camera, and they know exactly what you need to get in front of the camera. So this isn't just, you know, an average makeup application. This isn't just an average blow dry. This is specialized for the camera. So the concept goes hand in hand with each other. And I'm sorry.
No, so it goes hand in hand. And I mean, I've been to the studio, and it's customized for your shoot as well. And I think that that's something that's really unique, that it's not some random makeup artist going to, you know, another shoot.
Absolutely.
And they're right there so that you can say, you need more of this, you need the, you know, I know it's the hair is always poofed, right? And someone is right there on hand. And I know that there are a lot of photographers that have their people that come with them, but this is in the salon.
Absolutely. So what makes us a little bit different is the fact that we work together every single day, my artist and I. So we understand, you know, this person's amazing at this person's amazing at that. We complement each other with our skills. So, you know, you can go to any person and get a headshot, and in that, I'm sure it will be fantastic. But the difference between us and that person is that we know how we work together. We know how to make that person look like the perfect version of themselves. And you came in, you got your headshot done with an amazing group of women, and it really is a custom service. And we try to make sure that everybody feels amazing before they get in front of the camera.
So you said the word custom, and you also said make them feel like the perfect version of themselves. How do you know what that perfect version of them is?
It's a good question. So I think through experience, through time, I've learned. I think it's also really important to read a person, a woman or a man. You can tell if somebody feels amazing. They shouldn't get in front of the camera until they feel absolutely amazing. So I think reading somebody is also a huge part of this industry, and making them feel amazing before they look amazing, and then getting in front of the camera.
Yeah, and that was some of the work that I had done with the women that I brought to you, is to help with that piece of it. Because when you talk to us a little bit about this, because I think that being in front of the camera is a performance. I mean, you want to be authentic. You want to that's your job, right? To capture that authenticity and the personality. But to do that, you have to put on a performance. You have to hold your body sometimes in uncomfortable or unnatural positions. So talk to us a little bit about those techniques of drawing that out.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe a lot of that falls into my hands. It's my responsibility to pull that out of somebody. You know, I have people who come to me all the time and they're like, Rachel, I'm not photogenic. I hate the way I look in front of the camera. It's a sad thing for me to hear. But honestly, I don't even listen to that when people tell me that, because the truth is, it's my responsibility to make them photogenic or not photogenic. It's my responsibility to prep them before they get in front of the camera in the most perfect way, and then to capture them in the most perfect way, in the most perfect angle, outfit, you know, so on and so forth. So it's really funny you say that sometimes you need to have awkward poses, because the one thing I always tell everyone before they get in front of the camera is that sometimes the most awkward poses make for the most beautiful photo.
Right.
And so it's a really good point, but yeah. So.
Yeah, and I think it's really surprising when like, you know, how you hold your arms sometimes. You're like, you know, I don't know if I would ever do that. But then you look at the picture and you're like, oh, I get that.
Oh, it's shocking.
Yeah.
It feels awkward in person, and you would never think it would relay well on camera. But the truth is that the photographer needs to know how to pose you and how to pull that out of you. And I think that's honestly my strong suit, is helping people pose themselves and pulling that confidence out of them on camera.
So you just said the magic word of confidence, and you strike me as someone who has a lot of confidence.
I am confident.
You are, and I love that you said that. I am confident. Absolutely, I love that. So where do you think that comes from?
That's a good question. I would honestly say, not to sound cliche, but I think that definitely comes from my parents. I think I'm a 50-50 mix of both of my parents. My mom has this really strong personality, talks to everybody. She's a very confident woman. My dad is this very, you know, business-minded person. He's also very confident in himself. And I think they've always boosted me. They've always supported me. And I think that has really built my confidence over time. I'm also very peaceful inside, and I'm very content with myself, and I try to make every day a day where I gave my all, and that makes me feel really confident when I go to sleep at night.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So do you have any rituals or things that you do on a regular basis to nurture that peaceful feeling inside?
I do. So I love yoga. I try to do yoga at least once a week. It's really important to me. I meditate. I try to really work on breathing, because breathing, it makes me feel calm. And, you know, when you own a business, sometimes you need to feel calm.
Especially in your business where
yes.
people are going left and right. And
It's very chaotic.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to slow down for a second. And also, I think we were talking about this, you know, earlier, is sleep. I think sleep is very important. I get 8 hours of sleep every night. And if I don't, you don't want to talk to me. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know I don't mean to keep bringing it up, and yet I do keep meaning to bring it up about how young you are, because you're so accomplished at such a young age.
Thank you.
What do you think that older women can learn from younger women?
Older women can learn.
Let me put it this way. What do you think older entrepreneurial women can learn from younger entrepreneurial women?
Well, I think it would depend, you know, are they just starting their career or are they deep into their career? But I would say one thing that I always keep in the back of my mind is never stop learning from other people. I never know who is going to be a teacher for me, and I accept every teacher that I can have, and most of the time it's not in a classroom. So I would say always be open-minded, and even if you're, you know, whether you're 40 or 50 or 60 or a 70-year-old entrepreneur, always have room to learn more things and always be a sponge.
Yeah, I really love that. And the other thing I was going to ask you is about your role models. So you said your mom.
Yep.
Do you have anybody else that's a role model that you're following, or that you kind of look up to in your business, and not even necessarily in your field, but that you say, I like what that person is doing or the way they're doing it?
I try to be as original as possible, you know, but I definitely have people who have influenced me in huge ways. Like I already told you, my parents. Someone who really influenced me earlier in my career when I was just starting out was a celebrity stylist that had, you know, took a chance on me and gave me a job in New York City. I don't talk about her as often as I should, because truthfully, she taught me the ropes of the industry. Her name was Alexa Winter, and she threw me into, you know, Fashion Week presentations when I was 19 years old, and I was petrified. And she taught me how to act quickly on a photo shoot and how to not overthink things in the fashion industry. And she gave me, underratedly, a lot of confidence in my skill, because she believed in me before anybody else believed in me. So I would say that Alexa was probably one of my biggest influencers and someone I look up to.
I love that. And you've been saying this consistently too, sort of the mantra of ready, fire, aim.
Yeah.
That you get in there and you build your confidence through experience.
Totally.
And I think that that's something, you know, a lot of women, men too, but a lot of women have that perfectionist bug, you know, that,
totally.
that virus. And
I'm sure you see that often.
I live that.
Yeah.
So, I know. And it's something that, you know, we have to fight against and learn and throw ourselves into doing. So I think that that's also something that's hugely valuable when you're growing your business.
Thank you. Yeah. I think that that's probably why I am where I am today at the age of 25, because, you know, I didn't go to photography school. I didn't, you know, take makeup lessons. I'm self-taught, and I just submerged myself in the industry, and I learned as I went along. And I think that's why I have a different angle on the industry because of what you're saying. So
yeah, and I love it. And you also have a nice edge. I love your edge, and I think, I don't know if it comes from being in New York or you know, you've done a lot of traveling. So talk to us a little bit about your travels and how that influences what you do here, and also how your experience in New York affects how you see things, because it's different. I mean, we're in Boston, and it's a little bit, you know, it's not New York. It's wonderful, but it's not New York. It's not Paris. So so talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we like to think of ourselves as the New York City of Framingham. So that's what I try to bring to the suburbs.
That's great.
The city in Framingham.
And I have to say, your salon is one of the coolest, hippest places I've ever seen.
Thank you. I love it.
I love it too. It's like a Soho loft, and like edgy but sophisticated. And I love it.
Thank you. That's the goal.
Yeah.
So I want people to feel like they're inside of a hidden gem, which, you know, you are in our building. And I mean, New York City really influenced my business because it's always up to date with trends. There's always new things happening. It's always edgy. So I try to bring that into my company every day. I mean, I recently also went to Italy, and I went to 2 different salons there to see what they were doing. And I always try to be new, because I think that's what this area really needs, is new. You know, Boston is definitely up to date, but I think the suburbs need a little bit freshening up. And that's what I'm trying to bring to the Framingham area.
So if I'm a mom in the suburbs or, have just a regular life and a family in the suburbs, what's new that I can incorporate into my look so that I feel up to date?
So a few things. One of the biggest services we offer right now is balayage hair painting. It's not necessarily a new thing. It's just something that this area did not know about.
What is it? What is balayage hair painting?
So balayage hair painting, so when you get your highlights done or...
No.
Okay.
These are natural.
Well, some people get highlights and they use foils. And those highlights go to your root. Well, balayage hair painting is when it's a more natural look. So it's painted on. It's a little bit more artistic and you have a little bit more creativity with it. So that's a huge service for us. It's one of the most popular hair coloring services that we offer. We also do semi-permanent lash extensions, which is huge for us. You can never wear mascara again if you don't want.
Wow.
And a lot of moms love that because they're on the go and they still want to look beautiful, and it makes their daily routine a little bit easier. And we also recently added Reiki. Are you familiar with Reiki?
Yeah, a little bit, yep.
So it's the act of energy healing. I hired a Reiki master named Paula Kaufman. She's unbelievable. And, that's great for moms too because your schedule is so busy and you're doing so many different things and it really calms you down and it makes you feel very peaceful inside. So, and that's kind of a new age, more holistic healing type service, which this area also doesn't really have much of.
I think it's coming along though. I
do too.
We have some great new meditation center here and it's really wonderful.
Agreed.
But it's really on brand for you too because you just talked about wanting to have that peaceful feeling inside. What do you think a business person, say you're an entrepreneur and this is because there are a lot of women out there, myself included, who they work out of their home, they're behind the computer and then they go to a networking event and they've got to get it on. Or they're doing podcasting or whatever and they have to pull it together. So what would be some tips for them to look camera ready at home or in a situation where they have to pull it together, where they've been running around in their yoga pants?
Yeah.
My friends call it the wardrobe mullet. Because you're wearing
Anything
yoga
that involves a mullet. I don't know if it's good.
Because a lot of times you're in your yoga pants and your tennis shoes, and then you're like doing an interview online, and from here up, you're like blinged out. So
I'm going to say the answer to that is preparation.
Yeah.
So I think you need to educate yourself. So we offer makeup lessons, and we can teach you how to apply your makeup for your face, for your skin tone, for your daily life.
Yeah.
So preparation, educate yourself on how to apply your makeup is really important.
Can I ask you, if you did that, I would think that would be especially unique to you as well because you're a photographer as well.
Yeah.
So it's for the camera.
Yeah, totally.
So if you're like, when the computer screen is like this big and that little camera, so that would be very
useful.
Makeup
for photography is completely different than makeup for an event, like we were talking about earlier. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also I would say, like we were just talking about the lash extensions. So having the lash extensions on before you do the interview, organic spray tans. I mean, that's really important. But as far as like tips and tricks, I know.
I'm
It's
just
a lot of
picturing
services.
a busy mom with an eyelash here and like a spray tan all over.
But they'd already be on her eye. But I would say lip color for camera, super important. You don't want to look washed out.
Yep.
Eyebrows being drawn in, super important. And also highlighting and contouring is massively important.
Okay, so now we have spray tan, fake eyelashes,
So
contouring.
basically look as fake as you possibly can.
No, but I'm going to say if you have a big thing, it's your business.
Yeah.
It's an investment. You want to look like you can deliver, you need to look like you can deliver. But if you have, if you were running your kids to school and then you're coming home and doing a podcast, what would be what do you need?
Mascara,
Yeah.
lipstick, quickly contour just a little bit, and draw on your eyebrows.
And draw on your eyebrows.
Yes.
Okay, contour, lipstick, draw on your eyebrows, and what was the last one?
Mascara.
Mascara, there you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, have you come up against any challenges in your business that you've been like, it really was something you had to figure out, and how did you figure that out?
So I feel like I come across challenges every day, to be completely honest with you, as a business owner and as a young business owner. Sometimes I simply don't have the answer. So I think part of that challenge is accepting when you don't have an answer and using your resources and your teachers to get the answer. So I don't really look at things as a challenge. I look at it as an opportunity, and I don't mean to sound cliche in that, but in reality, I don't think anything really should stop you. So I don't really.
Love that. I love that answer.
I don't have a specific example for you for that, but
I think that was a perfect answer because you don't get you're just such a cool cat. I mean, you don't get overwhelmed, right? You use your resources.
Yeah.
You see it as not as something that is a wall.
Right.
It's something to figure out.
Yeah. Turn it into a positive.
Yeah, I love that.
And learn from it.
Yeah. So since you're so sage and wise at the old age of 25, do you have a for your life and for your business? And if you do, what is it?
So far to date, my business has kind of had a mind of its own, and it's kind of taken off, and I didn't really know it was going to go where it's gone today. So I'm starting to get more of an idea of where I want to go with all of this, and I am definitely loving the company that I've created. As far as moving forward, I definitely don't want to lose any quality. That's really important to me. I think companies get huge, they lose quality, I become less a part of it all. I'm not looking for that.
So you want to stay hands-on?
I definitely want to stay hands-on. I want to make sure that there's always quality. I want to make sure that every person walks out of the salon loving their makeup, their hair, whatever they're getting done. And I want to make sure that, my photography is always exactly what the person needs, and I never lose sight of why I'm doing that. But I definitely think I'm building a brand and a concept and a culture. And I think I'm going to expand on that culture that I've created that people are gravitating to. And as far as a vision for my life, I just always want to have quality of life. I never want to be racing around, overwhelmed, miserable. I want to always be happy.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So a question that I always ask people towards the end is, we're here, we're sharing this air, this space, this time, right now as we're sitting here. What are you most grateful for?
Most grateful for? I think I have to go back to my parents again. I hate to keep bringing them up, but they are just such huge influencers and supporters for me, and I'm very, very grateful. I'm very grateful for that support, especially coming around Mother's Day. I've been thinking about my mom a lot and all that she's given to me, and not even financially, nothing of that nature, just more emotionally. Their support is, I can honestly tell you why I'm sitting right here and why I'm able to have this interview with you and why I have a business at the age of 25. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
I thought you said I'm maternally grateful.
I am not maternally grateful. I am eternally grateful. I will not be maternally anything for a long time.
But it was a nice play on Mother's Day.
I'm maternally grateful.
Awesome. So the salon, I'm going to say the name of the salon again, is Beauty PaRLR.
Beauty PaRLR and PaRLR Studio.
And PaRLR Studio.
Yep.
So if I'm going to go out and get pictures taken for my business, what 3 tips can you give entrepreneurs out there, or anybody who's needs pictures for some professional reason, to look fantastic in their pictures?
Headshots, per se?
Yeah, we can go with that.
All right, let's go with headshots.
Let's go with that.
Because my advice would vary per type of photo shoot.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think that that's the first picture that someone should get for their business?
It depends on the business, absolutely. But I definitely think it's most important how you brand yourself. So yes, I think headshots should be a great starting point.
Yeah, and I mean, I always tell my clients too, because you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram. Your face is your calling card.
Yeah.
So that's the first. You get one click, and you're irrelevant.
Absolutely.
You get one shot, baby. So okay, so we're gonna go with headshot.
All right, let's go with headshots. So I would say your outfit needs to represent your brand and shouldn't be outdated. I oftentimes see people come in and their outfits, they're old and they don't look good. And so we have our clients come in and they bring a whole suitcase of clothing and we style them from that suitcase of clothing. But make sure your outfit is fresh and bright and you're wearing fun jewelry and it's fashion forward. Second, makeup and hair really, really matters. I mean, you shouldn't even be getting in front of the camera unless you're professionally done with makeup and hair. There's something to be said for not wearing makeup. I'm not always about being fake and putting a bunch of makeup on, but it is really important if you want to look professional for your business to represent yourself in that way.
Well, and also I know a lot of people say I want to look natural, and I always say to them, sometimes looking natural takes a lot of makeup.
Being natural takes just as much time as being not natural.
On the camera.
Oh yeah, 100%.
so-
I mean, just in general.
Yeah.
People think that because you're getting a natural face that it takes less time or you're going to use less. All it is less product per part of your face. That's the only thing that makes a natural face, but you still have to go through the actions,
Right.
of a 45-minute makeup application.
Right. And I always say casual in your brand doesn't mean sloppy.
It's true.
Casual doesn't.
Yeah, I like that. That's
I mean, if you look at someplace
accurate.
like Eddie Bauer or Your Life is Good, it's a very laid back brand. But if you go to Logan Airport and go to one of the stores and you see their merchandise, it's like tight.
Yeah.
It's like
True.
right on. So
a good point.
Okay, so outfit, hair and makeup.
And I would say the third would be feeling confident in front of the camera. Some people get in front of the camera with me and they're insulting themselves the entire time, and that is going to relay on camera. So know you're amazing, know that you're confident, know that you're there for a reason and that people need to hear your message, and exude that in front of the camera.
Yeah. And of course, what I help people do is get clear on that message.
Exactly.
So when they get in front of the camera. And also the other thing that I always tell my people to do is to actually practice.
Yes.
It feels very weird to go in your bathroom mirror and make funny faces at yourself, but
Yeah.
you're going to do that in front of the camera.
I tell people to do that too.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, we did our headshot day together
Yep.
with all of your amazing clients, and that was probably one of my favorite days at the studio because every client that came in was incredibly prepared, and you made it so that every person felt confident and they knew what they were wearing, and it made my job very easy. And the photos came out amazing.
They did come out amazing. They were
Thank you.
rock on, sister.
We killed it.
All right, last question.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to thrive?
To thrive,
Yeah.
definitely to be doing what you love. To wake up every single day and to be excited for work and for whatever you're going to do that day, and to go to sleep at night feeling like you did everything you wanted to do that day.
That's a fantastic answer.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
was
me.
So much fun. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
I think people should
I'm
check
a huge
you out.
fan too.
Is there a website people can visit you?
Yes, we're actually relaunching our website right now, which I'm really excited about. We're launching a blog, but our website is rlrstudio.com, and for the salon, it's beautyparlor.com, PaRLR.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
for
here.
having me.
And thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.